This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917. Welcome to this week's episode of Nikon's Birding Adventures TV. This week, we're in Palm Beach County, Florida. From the Gulf Stream currents in the east to Lake Okeechobee in the west, this county is jam-packed full of birds. On this week's episode, we're going to spend some time in the agricultural areas of Palm Beach County in search of peregrine falcons and white-tailed kites. And then we're going in search of our golden bird, the wood stork. Let's go birding.
Now is the time of your life. Oh,
That is awesome.
time it's a sweet ride to the end. Now is the time, it's the right time to come alive. Now is the time of your life. Oh, now is the time of your life.
I got it. Looks like we can get out into the ocean. I'm about to get in a cage with Australian saltwater crocodiles. And I'm going to fly like the birds. Oh!
I will never forget this moment.
Let's go birding. Palm Beach County is one of the largest and most eco-diverse counties in all of Florida, and the Palm Beaches are a paradise of never-ending outdoor activities and things to do and see. An unmatched landscape of first-rate birding, incredible wildlife management areas, year-round fishing, a multitude of water sports, and exceptional beaches make this the best place to experience Florida. From the Everglades to the Atlantic Ocean, you are sure to find things to do that will stoke your passions and make lasting memories. South Florida is a birding mecca, from the colorful and distinctive natural populations of wading birds to the specialties like Florida scrub jays and red-cockaded woodpeckers, combined with the winter migration of flocks from up north. Palm Beach County is truly a birdwatcher's paradise. Lake Okeechobee is one of the largest freshwater lakes in North America. In fact, this lake is so big that it functions like an inland sea. And this is also reflected by the species of birds that are to be found here. Birds like brown pelicans and seagulls, which one normally associates with the ocean, are found in this huge inland lake. Well, this morning we're heading out with Bob Branham, local fishing guide, birder and photographer extraordinaire, and we're heading out on Lake Okeechobee to see the diversity of bird life on the big lake. Let's go birding.
Sounds like a plan. There's a nice little snowy sitting there.
Oh yeah, snowy egret.
Sometimes the best ones are right back at the house.
True. Lake Okeechobee is the largest lake in Florida and the second largest natural freshwater lake contained within the contiguous United States. Lake Okeechobee is also home to some critically endangered species in Florida, like the Florida snail kite, which actually nests on the lake. Now, in the 1920s, in 1926 and 1928, 2 hurricanes came through this area and were responsible for over 2,000 deaths. This caused the building of the dike on the southern rim of the lake, and it's here that you can walk all the way around the lake on the Lost Trail, which is the Lake Okeechobee Scenic Trail. You can enjoy birding from here. You can see an array of wildlife like otters and alligators, and then all the birds which are associated with the lake as well. It's a fantastic area, whether you enjoy bass fishing, or whether you enjoy wildlife, or just getting in the outdoors for a cycle along the southern rim of the lake. This is the place to do it. The Lake Okeechobee area is great for some seasonal specialities. Birds like grey kingbirds will come over from the Caribbean islands, the Bahamas, in summer, and then in winter you can see scissor-tailed flycatchers in fairly good numbers every year in this area. Some other great species can be found here, like American bittern and purple gallinules. American purple gallinules can be found on some of the lily pads and the more vegetated areas on the rim of the lake. It's a fantastic area for photography as well, and Bob comes out here quite a bit to actually practice photography, and he's been doing this for a number of years. What's the photography like here?
It's fantastic because of the diversity that you just mentioned. You know, snail kites, caracara. I can't count how many different kinds of wading birds come through.
So you've been photographing South Florida's wildlife, especially birds, for a number of years now. Bob, tell me about the best photographic opportunities in South Florida.
Well, between Lake Okeechobee and Everglades National Park, there's different kinds of habitat and different birds in each habitat. So I like it up here by the lake, just south and west of the lake. And raptors are really kind of my specialty. So white-tailed kites and snail kites and eagles and caracara, which are my absolute favorite. Red-tailed hawks. I mean, the list goes on, and surprisingly friendly. They let you get close enough to get a photo. Put some time in and you can check off all of your boxes. That's the great thing about out here. There's always something going on. Around every corner there's liable to be, you know, your lifetime birds sitting there.
Lake Okeechobee is bordered by 5 counties in Florida, and Palm Beach County is one of those lucky ones. So next time you're in the area, stop by and take a walk on the Lost Trail and enjoy the spectacular birding of this incredibly rich region. Well, we've had a nice variety of birds this morning on the boat on Lake Okeechobee. We're now going to head out into the agricultural areas of western Palm Beach County with Bob, and he's going to show us some of his best sites for some raptors and other specialty species.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917. And by Palm Beach County, Florida. Discover the Palm Beaches. And by Pelagic Polarized Sunglasses.
This is the Miami Canal Road that runs along the edge of western Palm Beach County. And it's along this road that you'll find a very rare bird for Florida, the white-tailed kite. You just drive and you watch out for them perched at the top of these telephone poles on the wires, and they use that as a vantage point to look for small rodents, which is their favorite prey. We'll often also see these white-tailed kites hovering for their prey. So they'll fly fairly high, they'll spot a rodent on the ground, and they'll hover and maintain their position before they plummet in for the kill. This bird's got a very strange distribution in North America. Obviously it's found through Mexico and parts of South America, but then in North America it's only found in small numbers in California, and then in Texas, and then an isolated population in South Florida. And these agricultural fields here in western Palm Beach County are really productive for raptors. We've obviously seen these white-tailed kites, and it's also quite a good spot for crested caracaras. You know, there's been a lot of criticism in Palm Beach County in terms of what these agricultural areas actually do to the environment, but I can tell you, as birders, we would far rather these agricultural fields be here than blocks and blocks of condominiums, that's for sure.
Amen to that.
This area south of the lake is known for its black cotton soil, which is really, really rich in minerals and everything that vegetables need to grow. And in fact, if you go to Clewiston on the south side of the lake and Belglade on the south side of the lake, I think the motto of Belglade is "her soil is her fortune," and it's due to this black cotton soil. And it's also a really, really good open area for these white-tailed kites to scan for little rodents in the fields. Oh, there's one flying right across the road. Do you see him?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's flying off the lamppost. He's landing in that tree. Now this is great because we get to see white-tailed kites in their natural environment on a tree, perched at the top of a tree. Look at that. He's quite far away, but a wonderful sight of white-tailed kites on top of a tree. Oh, and there he takes off again, flying off. And what we're finding is most of these birds this morning in pairs. Two of these white-tailed kites together. They are residents, so they're here in Florida the whole year. And we've only seen one single bird this morning. I think we've seen 3 pairs and 1 single bird, so 7 total. That's quite a good number for, what, about a 5-mile stretch of road?
No more than 5 miles.
Yeah. One of the most stunning features of the white-tailed kite are its blood red crimson eyes. And you have to get quite close to see that, but when you see those eyes, they are blood red. Very, very beautiful. Otherwise, it's a very handsome bird. A nice contrast between those white underparts and then the black bar in the wing and flight. Very, very spectacular birds. And then obviously how the bird gets its name is that snow white tail, which is very evident when they fly against the sky, especially if you've got a black cloud where they're flying. These birds are now circling up in the sky and they're actually kiting. They're doing this kind of sort of circular display up against the sky, which is really, really beautiful to see. Well, Bob, it's been an absolute pleasure birding with you. We really appreciate you taking the time to show us all these great birds.
Thank you for those nice things you said about me.
No worries, anytime.
Part of it's true, maybe.
Excellent. Well, stay with us when we come back to feature our golden bird for this episode, the wood stork.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917. And by Palm Beach County, Florida. Discover the Palm Beaches. And by Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler company. And sponsored in part by Manfrotto, complete solutions for photographers and videographers. Visit manfrotto.us.
My name is Mark Cook. I'm a avian ecologist for the South Florida Water Management District, and we're going to fly out in this helicopter here, Bell 407, and we're going to fly out over the Everglades. We're going to look to see where the birds are foraging so we can get a handle on how we can manage the system this week, and then we're going to fly down to a whole bunch of different wading bird colonies and just check up on them, see how they're doing in terms of where they are in the breeding cycle. Are they nesting? Are they on eggs? Are they on chicks? And just basically find out sort of what kind of conditions some of these birds are in. First of all, we're going to be flying over the Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge. That's sort of characterized by lots of small pop-up tree islands. And these tree islands are the biodiversity hotspots of the Everglades. That's where all the birds nest. And then we're going to be flying into Water Conservation Area 3A. That's where we have the largest wading bird colony in the Everglades. It's a colony called Alley North, north of the Alligator Alley, the big road that runs across the Everglades. Then the next step is to fly all the way to the southwest corner of Water Conservation Area 3A, right on the border of Big Cypress National Preserve. and there we'll be looking at 2 wood stork colonies. Those colonies are supporting in total about 1,000 wood stork nests right now, so this year is doing really great for the wood stork. We've had perfect conditions for them. We had a really wet summer, and that's critical because it enables the water to spread all over the Everglades and a lot of the other wetlands that are surrounding the Everglades. Those wet conditions are essential for growing the fish that the birds will require during the nesting period. The fish all congregate and become concentrated in these small pools of water, and that's what the birds require to feed on these fish. They need really high densities of prey. And the reason is because they're tactile foragers. The white ibis and the wood stork are tactile foragers. They feed by touch. They don't feed by sight. They put their bill in the water and move it around, and they have a really quick reaction time. The wood stork has the fastest reflex of, we think, of any vertebrate animal. 25 milliseconds it takes for the bill to snap shut, which is far faster than the response of the fish. But because of the method by which they forage, they require these high densities of prey. And that's what's happening right now. We've got a great dry down of the Everglades. The fish are all becoming concentrated, and that's why we're seeing these huge big flocks right now of wood storks and ibis and other species. So they're really useful for guiding water management and for guiding how we need to restore the system for future restoration.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917. And by Palm Beach County, Florida. Discover the Palm Beaches. And by Engel Coolers, the original high-performance cooler company. Green Cay Wetlands, situated right in the heart of Boynton Beach in Palm Beach County, is arguably the best bird photography site in all of the United States. Green Cay allows you to get within feet of wading birds, waterfowl, and other bird species, providing spectacular photographic opportunities. Green Cay, on any given day, is loaded with bird photographers, birders, and people who just come out here to enjoy the outdoors. It's a spectacular place. One of the fantastic things about Green Cay Wetlands is that every single time I come here, I see something unique and something different. We have great opportunities to see black-bellied whistling ducks, the odd fulvous whistling duck, and then of course the beautiful roseate spoonbills that will come here, and occasionally a peregrine falcon or a merlin will take up residence here too, taking advantage of the bounty of bird life that exists here at Green Cay Wetlands. Situated just down the road from Green Cay is another very productive urban wetland called Okeechobee. It has many of the same species found at Green Cay, but what's really the attraction here is the number of nesting wading birds in winter. Huge numbers of wood stork, great blue heron, little blue heron, snowy egrets, and anhingas will utilize the trees in Okeechobee to bring up their young.
The nice thing about Green Cay and Okeechobee is that the two are within 5 minutes drive of each other. So you can come out here to Western Boynton Beach and spend an entire morning walking the boardwalks of both of these wetlands.
It's midwinter in Palm Beach County, and I can tell you that there's few places on earth where you can get this close to nesting wood storks. Right now, they've got eggs on the nest, and the parent birds will be flying in to continue building that nest structure. And when the one parent flies in to the other parent on the egg, it's accompanied by this really loud bill snapping. And then they'll come together, they'll preen each other, and then they'll fix that nest, getting ready for the next brood of baby wood storks. One of the ways to tell a wood stork in breeding plumage is to look down below at its feet. During breeding season, wood storks have these conspicuous pink feet. And those pink feet form another really important function, because as the wood stork feeds, he moves those pink feet in the sediment, waiting for a little minnow to shoot out into that long, decurved bill. The wood stork's cousin, the European stork, is renowned in children's fairy tales for the bird that brings babies. Well, I can tell you something. These wood storks are getting plenty of practice. At the turn of the 20th century, the millinery trade, or the bird plume business, decimated the numbers of wood storks and other wading birds in Florida. Thankfully today, their numbers are coming back, and Okeechobee wetlands is a testament to this incredible conservation success story. When it comes to getting up close and personal with birds, there's no better place than Palm Beach County, Florida. This week, we hope you've enjoyed our golden bird, the wood stork. See you next time.
It's sitting on a station floor, heading back to a place you've never been before. And it's hard to be happy and